Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins today, we're taking a deep dive into one of the most fascinating and confusing coins in modern American numismatics, the 1982 Lincoln penny. A year filled with transition, mistakes, mystery, and rare varieties that have collectors searching through their change like treasure hunters. There are stories circulating online claiming that a 1982 penny could be worth an unbelievable $1.5 million. So today we're going to break down the history, the facts, the rumors, and the real money behind this iconic coin. Let's start with the year 1982 itself. This was a major turning point for the United States Mint. For decades, Lincoln pennies had been made of copper, weighing 3.1 grams. But rising metal prices created a problem. It began to cost more than a penny to make a penny. So in 1982, the Mint replaced the traditional copper alloy with a new composition, a zinc core coated with a thin layer of copper. These new pennies weighed only 2.5 grams. That year, the Mint produced both types, copper and zinc, during the same period. And this decision created one of the most interesting sets of varieties in modern coin history. Not only were there two metal compositions, but the Mint also used different dies, creating large date and small date versions. In total, 1982 produced 7 major varieties, each with its own characteristics. Copper large date, copper small date, zinc large date, zinc small date, and several Philadelphia and Denver combinations. Most of these are common. Millions of each were struck. But one variety stands above the rest and has become legendary. The holy grail of 1982 pennies is the 1982D small date copper penny. This is the coin that has sparked endless rumors about million-dollar prices. It is so rare that for many years experts believed it didn't exist at all. The Denver Mint was not supposed to strike small-date copper pennies in 1982, but a few slipped through the cracks. Only a tiny number have ever been authenticated. And anytime rarity reaches that level, collectors begin imagining enormous price tags. Where does the $1.5 million rumor come from? It comes from the idea of a coin being unique. If a single surviving example of an official Denver-minted small-date copper penny were found, perfectly preserved, never touched, graded at the highest level, it could potentially challenge record prices. Rare cents like the 1943 copper penny and the 1958 double die proof have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Whenever collectors imagine the next undiscovered coin, the million-dollar whispers begin. But let's be clear. No confirmed 1982 Lincoln penny has sold for $1.5 million. The real value depends on the variety, the composition, and the condition. Ordinary 1982 pennies are worth 1 cent. Common uncirculated examples are worth a few dollars. But the rare ones, the true treasures, can be worth thousands. Each year, collectors discover valuable error strikes, wrong planchet coins, double dies, transitional mistakes, and unexpected finds that change the history books. How do you know whether your 1982 penny is the normal type or the valuable type? Start by weighing it. Use a digital scale that measures to the tenth of a gram. A copper penny weighs 3.1 grams. A zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams. If your coin weighs 3.1 grams and has a small date, you may have something incredible. Then look closely at the date itself. Small date pennies have a thinner too, and the numbers are more delicate. Large date pennies have thicker, bolder numerals. If your coin appears to be a small date copper penny from the Denver Mint, stop everything. Do not clean it. Do not handle it unnecessarily. And make sure it is authenticated by a major grading service like PCGS or NGC. These are the organizations that turn speculation into true collector value. Beyond the famous variety, there are also error coins to watch for. Off-metal strikes, double dies, die cracks, broad strikes, severe misalignments. These unusual mint mistakes can bring hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on severity and condition. And remember, 1982 was a chaotic year. Anytime a mint changes metal compositions, mistakes are far more likely. The transition from copper to zinc created an environment where planchets could be mixed, where dies could be mismatched, and where new varieties could slip out unnoticed. That is why collectors continue searching rolls, jars, and old collections for the next discovery. Will a 1982 penny really sell for $1.5 million? Not today. Not yet. But could such a price happen one day if the right coin appears? Yes. History has shown us that when a unique coin surfaces, especially one that was never supposed to exist, the value can reach into the stratosphere. Every record-setting coin started as a rumor, then became a discovery, and eventually became legendary. This is what makes the 1982 penny so exciting. It's not just a coin. It's a mystery. It's a historic moment frozen in metal. It's a piece of the mint's growing pains, a transition between two eras. And somewhere out there, in a jar, in an attic, in a forgotten drawer, there may be a penny waiting to rewrite coin collecting history. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the story, the value, and the mystery of the 1982 Lincoln penny, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. There are treasures hiding in everyday change, and you never know when the next $1,000,000 coin could be sitting right in your pocket. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. Today we are diving into one of the most talked about, misunderstood, and surprising coins in American numismatics. The 1969 Lincoln penny. A coin that millions of people have in their possession without realizing that some versions of this coin, under the right conditions and with the right mint errors, could be worth life-changing money. Stories circulating online claim that a 1969 penny could be worth as much as $1.7 million. So what is the truth? Could a tiny 1-cent coin from the 1960s really bring in that kind of money? Let's explore the story, the history, the real value, and the rare treasures hidden behind the 1969 Lincoln penny. To understand the value, you first have to understand the year. The late 1960s was a chaotic period for the United States Mint. The country was transitioning away from silver, creating new master dies, and experimenting with different minting techniques to keep up with high demand. Quality control wasn't perfect. Mistakes happened, and many of those mistakes ended up in circulation. These errors are what make the 1969 penny so interesting today. Let's begin with the basics. The 1969 penny was struck at the Denver Mint and carries the small d mint mark under the date. The coin is made of a copper alloy and weighs 3.1 grams. Hundreds of millions were produced, making the regular version extremely common. So if you're holding an ordinary 1969 penny, the value is generally 1 cent. However, and this is where the excitement begins, some pennies from this era have extremely rare errors that can turn a common coin into a treasure worth thousands or even millions. Most people don't realize that the United States Mint accidentally produced one of the most valuable double-die pennies in history in 1969. This coin shows dramatic doubling on the date, the word liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust." The doubling is sharp, bold, and unmistakable. A real 1969 double-die obverse penny can sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars. But here's the twist. That legendary double-die penny was struck in Philadelphia and has no mint mark. Not a D.S. Where does the $1.7 million rumor come from? It comes from the possibility of an extreme mint error on a 1969 penny that has not yet been discovered. When collectors learn that a famous double die from the same year sold for enormous amounts, imagination takes over. People begin to believe that the Denver Mint might have accidentally created something just as rare, or even rarer, during that hectic time. The idea of a unique, one-of-a-kind transitional error or major double die from the Denver Mint sparks speculation of million-dollar values. And the truth is, it's not impossible. Throughout history, unique or nearly unique mint errors have sold for unbelievable amounts. Think about coins struck on the wrong metal, coins made from foreign planchets, coins with extreme doubling, or coins created during rare minting experiments. These pieces have captured the attention of collectors around the world and resulted in record-breaking prices. This is the fuel that keeps the rumor alive that a 1969 penny with a dramatic error could one day bring in a $1.7 million sale. What kinds of 1969 pennies actually bring real value today? The first category is major mint errors. Off-metal strikes are extremely valuable. These occur when a penny is struck on metal intended for another denomination. If a 1969 penny were struck on a dime planchet, a silver planchet, or a foreign planchet, it would be worth thousands, possibly tens of thousands of dollars. Next are off-center strikes. When part of the design is missing because the coin was not centered correctly during minting, the coin becomes collectible. The more off-center the strike and the more visible the date, the more valuable it becomes. Die break errors are another category. These appear as raised cracks or blobs on the coin due to damaged dies. Dramatic die breaks, sometimes called cut errors, can bring significant premiums. Then comes the holy grail of minting mistakes, doubled dies. A true double die shows bold, sharp doubling caused during die creation. If a 1969D double die with strong doubling, like the famous 1969 no mint mark variety, were ever discovered, it could instantly become one of the most valuable pennies in history. That is exactly the type of coin collectors dream of finding, and exactly why the $1.7 million rumor refuses to go away. So what should you look for? Start by examining the date. Look for obvious doubling on the numbers or lettering. Next, check the word Liberty and the motto. If the letters appear doubled in a crisp, clean way, you may have something extraordinary. Look at the edges for broad strikes or distorted shapes. Check the fields for cracks, lumps, or raised lines caused by die damage. And pay attention to the weight. If it is significantly different from 3.1 grams, the coin may have been struck on the wrong metal. If you find something unusual, handle the coin carefully. Never clean it. Cleaning destroys value instantly. Instead, hold it by the edges and consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These organizations confirm authenticity and determine real market value. The 1969 D Lincoln penny is more than just a coin. It's a doorway into one of the most chaotic and interesting periods in American minting history. It represents the possibility of rare discoveries, the thrill of treasure hunting, and the excitement of finding something extraordinary in a handful of ordinary pocket change. While number 1969 D penny has officially sold for $1.7 million, the potential for a once-in-a-lifetime error coin keeps collectors searching every day. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep exploration into the value, history, and mystery of the 1969 D Lincoln penny, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next treasure hunt. And remember, the next million-dollar discovery could be hiding in your pocket right now. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating coins in American numismatics, the 1961 D Lincoln penny, a coin that many people handle without a second thought, yet it carries a story filled with rare varieties, potential mint errors, and even the rumor that one version could be worth as much as $1.9 million. So could a penny from 1961 really reach that kind of value? Let's explore the history, the rare coins, the myths, and the real possibilities behind the 1961 D Lincoln penny. First, let's discuss the history. The 1961 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint, marked by the small d under the date. By this time, the United States Mint was producing Lincoln pennies using the classic copper alloy, weighing 3.1 grams. Hundreds of millions of these coins were produced, which makes the standard 1961 D penny very common. In everyday circulation, its value is only 1 cent. But in the world of coin collecting, rarity, condition, and mint errors can completely change a coin's worth. So why do collectors talk about a $1.9 million $1,961 D penny? It comes from the possibility of a rare or unique mint error. Throughout history, extreme mint mistakes have created coins that sell for enormous amounts. Coins struck on the wrong metal, double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and experimental pieces have all reached prices well into 6 and 7 figures. While number 1961 D penny has ever sold for $1.9 million, the potential exists for a once-in-a-lifetime error coin to appear, and that is what keeps collectors searching. Let's look at the types of 1961 D pennies that bring real value. First, there are double die errors. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin has an accidental duplication, creating clear and bold doubling in the date, lettering, or Lincoln's portrait. If a 1961 D penny ever appeared with extreme double die characteristics, it could attract enormous collector interest. Next are off-center strikes. These are coins that were struck so that part of the design is missing. The more extreme the off-center strike and the more visible the date, the higher the value. Some off-center pennies from the 1960s have sold for thousands of dollars. Broad strikes are another important error type. These happen when a coin expands outward because the collar was not in place during striking. A perfectly centered broad strike with bold details is rare and collectible. Then there are die cracks, cuts, and other die breaks. These appear as raised lines, lumps, or blobs on the coin caused by damaged dies. Dramatic examples can significantly increase the value of an otherwise ordinary penny. Finally, the most dramatic and rare possibilities come from planchet errors. A planchet error occurs when the coin is struck on the wrong metal or a foreign planchet. A copper penny accidentally struck on a blank or foreign planchet could instantly become a one-of-a-kind collector's item and potentially reach seven-figure prices. So what should you look for if you have a 1961 D penny? First, examine the date and lettering carefully for any doubling. Look at Lincoln's portrait for unusual or exaggerated features. Check the edges for off-center strikes, broad strikes, or other distortions. Inspect the surface for raised lines or lumps caused by die cracks. If possible, weigh the coin. A normal 1961 D penny weighs 3.1 grams. Any significant difference could indicate a planchet error. If you find something unusual, it is important to handle the coin carefully. Never clean it. Cleaning destroys value instantly. Instead, hold it by the edges and consider sending it to a professional grading service, such as PCGS or NGC. Certification and authentication are what transform a rare coin from a curiosity into a verified collectible with real market value. The 1961 D Lincoln penny is more than just a coin. It represents a time in American minting history when errors and rare varieties could slip through unnoticed. It represents the thrill of discovery and the excitement of finding something extraordinary hidden in ordinary change. While number 1961 D penny has officially sold for $1.9 million, the potential for a once-in-a-lifetime error coin keeps collectors searching every day. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep exploration into the history, value, and mystery of the 1961 D Lincoln penny, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another episode. And remember, the next $1 million coin could be hiding in your pocket right now. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most surprising and controversial topics in the coin collecting world. The coin that has set the internet buzzing. The 1976 D Lincoln penny. Yes, the same ordinary copper coin most people walk past without a second thought. Some collectors and rumor mills have claimed that one specific version of this coin has sold or could sell for as much as $1.3 million. But is this true? Is there a $1.3 million penny hiding in your change? Let's explore the history, the facts, the myths, and the real situations where this coin can be worth serious money. Before we talk about values and rare errors, we need to understand what the 1976 D penny actually is. Unlike the famous wheat pennies that ended production in 1958, the 1976 D penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series. It was struck at the Denver Mint, which you can identify by the small D mint mark under the date. In 1976, the United States Mint produced hundreds of millions of these pennies. To most people, that means the coin is common. And that's true for regular circulation examples. But in the world of coin collecting, it's never just about quantity. It's about condition. It's about rarity. And sometimes, it's about errors that slip through the cracks at the mint. And this is where our story takes a turn. Rumors about a $1.3 million $1,976 D penny didn't start because of a standard coin. They started because of the possibility of an extreme mint error or an experimental strike. Across the history of U.S. coinage, a few rare off-metal errors from the 1970s have sold for dramatic amounts. These include coins struck on silver planchets, coins struck on foreign metal stock, and coins created due to major misstrikes. When collectors hear that a penny from the 1970s sold for a fortune, the rumor machine starts pumping. Over time, the idea grows legs, and suddenly everyday people believe a normal 1976 D penny might be worth a mansion. So let's break down the truth. Is a standard 1976 D penny worth $1.3 million? No. A normal coin in average condition is worth just about 1 cent. Even in high uncirculated grades, most examples sell for a couple of dollars at most. But here's where things get interesting. If you have a rare version with a significant mint error, the story changes. Dramatic off-metal errors can reach tens of thousands of dollars. A perfectly preserved mint state penny, graded ultra-high by a major grading service, can also bring a premium price. And there is always the possibility of a rare, unclassified mint blunder that could fetch an enormous amount if authenticated. Serious value comes from serious rarity. A one-of-a-kind discovery piece. A major wrong planchet strike. A full double die with clear doubling visible. A coin with flawless surfaces. These are the types of details that can turn a common penny into a once-in-a-lifetime find. So why do collectors keep searching their change? Because coins like this really do appear from time to time. The difference between a normal pocket penny and a coin worth thousands is often just one unusual feature. It might be a weight difference. It might be the metal composition. It might be the design looking doubled or stretched due to a minting error. It might even be a coin that escaped the mint when it never should have existed. Now let's talk about what you should look for in your 1976 D pennies. First, inspect the coin under bright light. Check the date and the mint mark for doubling. Look for raised lines or distortions that indicate a die break. Check the color and tone of the coin. If it looks like it's made of a different metal, that's a major red flag for a possible off-metal strike. Weigh the coin if you can. A normal 1976 copper penny should weigh 3.1 grams. Anything significantly lighter or heavier is worth investigating. Then comes the most important step. If you think you have something unusual, do not clean the coin under any circumstances. Cleaning destroys value. Instead, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. Their certification is what transforms a found coin into a collectible with real market value. So, is there a $1.3 million $1,976 D penny? There is no confirmed sale of such a coin, but there are rare coins from the same era that have brought life-changing money. And if a previously unknown extreme error on a 1976 D penny were discovered today, it could indeed break price records. That possibility is what keeps collectors searching their pocket change, their old jars, and their inherited collections. The beauty of coin collecting is that treasure hides in plain sight. Every coin has a story. Every coin has a past. And every now and then, one coin escapes the mint with a mistake so rare that it becomes legendary. Whether your 1976 D penny is worth 1 cent or $100,000 depends entirely on what makes it different. If you have a 1976 D penny at home, now is the perfect time to look again. You never know what you might find. And if you discover something special, you could be holding a tiny piece of metal worth more than a luxury car. Or maybe more than a house. Or maybe, just maybe, the next record-breaking discovery. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin history, value, and mystery, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next treasure hunt. And remember, the next $1 million coin could be sitting right in your pocket. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. Today we are taking a deep dive into a coin that many people overlook every single day. Yet it has become the center of wild rumors, surprising discoveries, and a treasure hunt that stretches across the United States. The 1979 D Lincoln penny. On the surface, it looks like an ordinary cent, something you might pass over without a second thought. But as collectors know, the story behind this coin goes much deeper than most people realize. Some claim there is a version of this penny worth as much as $1.5 million. Is that true? Could a penny from the late 1970s actually sell for that kind of money? Let's explore the facts, the myths, the real values, and everything that makes the 1979 D Lincoln penny so fascinating. First, let's talk about the history. By 1979, the U.S. Mint had been producing the Lincoln Memorial Reverse Penny for 2 decades. These coins were still made from a copper alloy, weighing 3.1 grams. The Denver Mint, marked by the small d below the date, produced hundreds of millions of these coins. From a general viewpoint, this makes them common. But coin collectors know that rarity isn't based only on how many coins were made. It's based on what went wrong at the mint. Mistakes, misstrikes, and rare production problems are what create value. So why do people talk about a $1.5 million $1,979 D penny? It starts with the fact that some modern era coins have brought extraordinary prices. A few rare pennies from the 1970s and earlier, struck on the wrong type of metal or made with extreme doubling, have sold for astonishing amounts. Once that happens, rumors begin to spread. A story gets shared online, a video goes viral, and suddenly people believe a common penny might be worth a fortune. But the truth is more specific. No ordinary 1979 D penny is worth $1 million. The coin that could reach a price like that would need to be a once-in-a-lifetime mint error, something so rare and unusual that only one or two exist in the entire world. While no confirmed sale of a 1.5 million $1,979 D penny has ever been recorded, the possibility of a major undiscovered error keeps collectors searching every day. Let's break down what makes certain 1979 D pennies valuable. The first category is dramatic mint errors. These are mistakes that happen during production. Some of the most important ones include off-metal strikes, where a penny is accidentally struck on a planchet mint for another coin. These mistakes can be worth thousands of dollars. Another category includes double die errors, where parts of the design appear doubled. A bold, clear doubling of the date, lettering, or portrait could create a coin worth serious money. Off-center strikes are another major category. When the design lands far off-center, especially by 20% or more, the coin becomes valuable, especially if the date is still visible. Then there are broad strikes, where the coin expands outward in a circular shape because the collar wasn't in place during minting. Clean, dramatic broad strikes can also bring in collectors willing to pay top dollar. There are also die cracks, cuds, and retained breaks, where parts of the die were damaged during production, leaving raised lines or blobs on the coin. The more dramatic and unusual, the more collectors are interested. What really fuels excitement is the possibility of a transitional planchet error. These are extremely rare and happen when the mint accidentally uses the wrong metal for a particular year. Although 1979 was still a copper year, the possibility of a coin struck on a foreign planchet, an experimental piece, or a leftover planchet from another denomination always exists. Coins like that have sold for tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands, depending on uniqueness. Oh, how could a 1979 D penny reach $1.5 million? The answer lies in discovery. If a unique, one-of-a-kind, extreme mint error were found today, something so dramatic it had no known match, collectors and auction houses would compete fiercely for it. A coin like that could rewrite numismatic history and push prices into record territory. That dream is what keeps collectors digging through their jars, their boxes, their old saved change, and their family collections. The next great discovery often appears where no one expects it. Now let's talk about what you should look for in your own 1979 D pennies. First, check for doubling. Examine the date, the lettering, and Lincoln's portrait under good lighting. Doubling should appear sharp and clear, not blurry. Next, look for off-center strikes. If the design is shifted noticeably, check to see if the date is still readable. That's important for value. Then examine the edges. A missing or smooth edge could indicate a broad strike error. Also look for raised lines, cracks, or lumps across the coin, which could signal a die break. If something about your coin looks unusual, the next step is critical. Do not clean it. Cleaning destroys value. Instead, handle it gently by the edges and consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These are the experts whose certification determines true market value. The 1979 D Lincoln penny might seem like just another coin, but it represents a world of possibilities. It represents a time in minting history when mistakes did occur and when rare treasures slipped into circulation unnoticed. It represents the thrill of discovering something valuable in the most ordinary places. And it represents the hope that one day, someone might find the next famous million-dollar coin. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep look into the history, the value, and the mystery of the 1979 D Lincoln penny, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another episode. And remember, that next valuable coin could be hiding in your pocket right now. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into one of the most talked about and misunderstood modern pennies in American coin collecting, the 1984 Lincoln penny. A simple copper-plated coin that millions of people handle every day, yet it hides a story full of minting mistakes, surprising discoveries, and the rumor that one rare version of this coin could be worth as much as $1.4 million. So what is the truth? Could one penny from the 1980s really bring that kind of money? Let's take a deep journey into the history, the mint errors, and the real values behind the 1984 Lincoln cent. First, let's begin with the history. By 1984, The United States Mint was still fairly new to using zinc cores instead of solid copper. Just 2 years earlier, in 1982, the Mint began striking pennies from a zinc planchet coated with a thin copper layer. The goal was to reduce cost. But with new processes often come new problems, and this era is famous for strange mint errors. These mistakes, some small and some extreme, are exactly why collectors love checking 1980s pennies today. One of the most famous varieties from 1984 is the 1984 doubled ear penny. This coin shows a strong, clear doubling on Abraham Lincoln's earlobe. Not a faint blur, not a tiny mark, but a bold doubled image that is easily visible to the naked eye. When the coin community discovered this variety, it became an instant hit. These coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars in high grades. And when error coins start selling for big numbers, rumors begin to spread about even higher values. But the real reason people whisper about $1.4 million comes from the possibility of a rare, dramatic mint error that may still be undiscovered. Throughout history, unique mint mistakes have brought enormous prices at auctions. Coins struck on the wrong metal. Coins struck on foreign planchets. Coins with major doubled dies, missing layers, or experimental compositions. When collectors imagine a unique 1984 penny with a never-before-seen error, their imaginations go wild. Suddenly, the idea of $1 million penny is not impossible. Let's clear things up. Has any 1984 Lincoln penny sold for $1.4 million? No, there is no confirmed sale at that price. But the reason this number keeps circulating is because of the potential of an extraordinary error. If a one-of-a-kind experimental or transitional planchet penny from 1984 were ever found and authenticated, it could shatter price records. And that possibility keeps collectors searching their change every day. Let's talk about what makes the 1984 penny exciting and what you should look for. Start with the doubled ear variety. This is the most famous. Look closely at Lincoln's earlobe. If you see two distinct shapes, not just a shadow, you may be holding a valuable error coin. The stronger the doubling and the better the condition, the more money it can bring. Next, look for off-center strikes. These are coins where the design is shifted significantly to one side. The more dramatic the shift, the higher the value. Clean, bold off-center errors can bring impressive amounts. Then there are broad strikes, die cracks, and die breaks. These may look like raised lines or splits across the surface. Severe cracks or retained cut errors can bring in collectors willing to pay good money for dramatic pieces. There are also coins struck on the wrong planchet. Very rarely, a penny is accidentally struck on metal intended for another denomination or even a foreign coin. These accidents can be worth thousands and are among the most exciting finds for collectors. And finally, there is the possibility of missing plating errors. Because 1984 pennies have zinc cores with copper plating, sometimes the plating is missing or partially missing. This creates unusual, eye-catching surfaces. Clean examples of these errors can also carry significant value. Now let's talk about the dream scenario, the $1.4 million possibility. Throughout coin collecting history, the coins that reach seven-figure prices tend to be unique or nearly unique. They are the result of extreme mint mistakes or extremely rare experiments. If a previously unknown 1984 penny were found today that was struck on the wrong metal, or struck during a secret test, or created through a minting accident with no other surviving example, then yes, it could ignite bidding wars unlike anything we have seen for modern coins. This is why collectors continue to search rolls, pockets, jars, and boxes from the 1980s. Because treasure often hides in plain sight. And because sometimes the next million-dollar discovery is sitting quietly at the bottom of a coffee can. What should you do if you find something unusual? First, never clean the coin. Cleaning destroys value instantly. Instead, handle it gently by the edges and consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Their certification transforms a coin from a curiosity into a true collectible with verified market value. The 1984 Lincoln penny may not look like much at first glance, but it represents a time in the mint's history filled with experimentation, mistakes, and unexpected surprises. It is a coin that has earned its place in the spotlight thanks to the famous doubled ear variety and the constant possibility of a life-changing discovery. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep look into the value, history, and mystery of the 1984 Lincoln penny. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode. And remember, the next rare penny worth thousands or even millions could be sitting right in your own pocket. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are exploring a coin that many people think is ordinary, but that holds a story full of surprises, rare varieties, and even rumors of life-changing value. The 2005 Lincoln penny. A coin most of us see every day, yet under the right circumstances, one particular version could be worth as much as $1.1 million. So is this true? Could a penny from 2005 really fetch seven figures? Let's break down the history, the rare varieties, the errors, and the real potential value of the 2005 Lincoln penny. To start, the 2005 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial series. By this year, the U.S. Mint had been producing the Lincoln Memorial reverse penny for decades, but it still remained a coin of interest to collectors, especially those watching for errors or unusual varieties. Pennies in 2005 were made from a copper-plated zinc planchet, weighing 2.5 grams. They were produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, which can be identified by the absence of a mint mark or by a small d under the date. Millions of these coins were struck, which makes a standard 2005 penny very common. An ordinary penny from this year is worth only 1 cent in circulation. But as always, rarity and error coins are where the story changes to, where does the $1.1 million rumor come from? It comes from the possibility of extremely rare and dramatic mint errors. Throughout history, modern pennies have occasionally been struck on the wrong metal, misaligned, or produced with extreme die errors. In some cases, these coins have sold for hundreds of thousands or even millions. That is why collectors often imagine that a unique 2005 penny could potentially reach $1.1 million. Now let's talk about what makes a 2005 Lincoln penny valuable. One of the first categories is double die errors. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin has been accidentally doubled during production, creating a coin where the design or letters appear doubled. A bold, clear double die is highly sought after by collectors and can bring significant premiums, especially in uncirculated condition. Next are off-center strikes. Sometimes the penny is struck so that the design is shifted significantly to one side, leaving part of the coin blank. If the date remains visible and the strike is extreme, collectors will pay a high price. The more dramatic the shift, the more valuable the coin becomes. Another type of error that can drive value is a broad strike. This happens when the coin expands outward due to the collar not being in place during striking. A perfectly centered broad strike with clear details is rare and collectible. Then there are planchet errors. Since 2005 pennies are made from a copper-plated zinc core, any missing plating or off-metal strike, such as a coin struck on a blank zinc planchet without copper plating, can be worth thousands of dollars. Extremely rare planchet errors are exactly the type of coins that could push a penny into the six-figure or even million-dollar range if truly unique. Of course, extreme rarity is key. Ordinary errors sell for hundreds or thousands, but coins approaching $1.1 million would have to be one of a kind. For example, a penny struck during a mint experiment, struck on foreign metal, or with a previously unknown die error could ignite a bidding war that drives prices into record territory. So how can you spot something unusual in your 2005 penny? First, examine the date and letters for any doubling. Look at Lincoln's portrait carefully. Check the edges for off-center strikes or broad strike characteristics. Look for missing plating or unusual color, which may indicate a planchet error. And finally, weigh the coin if you can. A normal 2005 penny weighs 2.5 grams. Any significant difference could signal a rare error. If you think you have a rare penny, the most important step is to handle it carefully. Never clean it. Cleaning destroys value instantly. Instead, hold it by the edges and consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Authentication and grading are what transform a rare coin from curiosity into a certified collectible with real market value. The 2005 Lincoln penny may look ordinary, but it represents a time in minting history where errors and unique varieties could slip through unnoticed. It reminds us that treasure can hide in plain sight. Even in modern coins, extraordinary discoveries are still possible. A unique 2005 penny with the right error could be worth an astonishing amount, and that is why collectors continue searching through rolls, jars, and old collections. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this in-depth look at the history, value, and mystery of the 2005 Lincoln penny, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next exploration of rare coins. And remember, the next extraordinary penny could be hiding in your pocket right now.